Where can I find cheap real estate in Vancouver? I get this question all the time. In reality, there are some little known suburban communities that are selling upwards of a 50% discount from Vancouver real estate prices. So stick around until the end so you don't miss an opportunity. Okay, so if you're watching this video and you're looking to move or relocate to Vancouver, Canada, today you are going to learn the lay of the land. I'm going to share my screen while we view a map of the Greater Vancouver Area so you know exactly where you can find more affordable housing when moving to Vancouver, Canada, what real estate prices are in comparison to the city of Vancouver, and how far are the commute times so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. We know when people move to a city, the majority are not moving into the city center, and it's usually a compromise between real estate prices and commute time. So in this video, we're going to show you all of your options when moving to Vancouver, Canada, and where to find that discounted real estate. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, what's going on? Mark Parsons here with eXp Realty, deep in the heart of Greater Vancouver. And if you're someone that is interested in learning everything Vancouver, Canada, eating, working, playing, culture, really anything, make sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell right next to that to make sure you get notified every time we upload a brand new video about Vancouver and the surrounding areas here on the channel. Honestly, we get a lot of people reaching out to us about relocating, and we absolutely love it. It's what we do on a daily basis. If you don't reach out, we can't help you. So if you are looking to move, relocate, or you just want to come and hang out here, make sure to reach out. I will leave some links in the description as well as our contact info. We have your back, and we want to take care of you. So let's jump into the video. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see the map and get a proper perspective on the surrounding areas around Vancouver area. So let's get it. Okay guys, so now you can see my screen. I'm going to go through all of the suburbs, all of the outskirts area of the Vancouver area to show you where you can get real estate that's more affordable. And the truth is, Vancouver is a very expensive city, but if you get far enough out, prices drop upwards of 50%, obviously with increased commute times to the CBD, the central business district, to the downtown area. So I'm going to explain all of that. I'm going to go over commute times and what properties are priced in comparison to Vancouver. Now, Vancouver is very big. If we're looking at the map here, if we zoom in, downtown Vancouver is on a peninsula here. And then you have Stanley Park. I've done a video showing that. Amazing park there. It's been ranked as the world's best or second best park many times in the past. So that's downtown Vancouver. But if you back up, Vancouver is quite big here. So Vancouver comes all the way. This is Broadway. Vancouver is surrounded. So downtown Vancouver is a peninsula, but also Vancouver as a whole is a peninsula. You've got the Burrard Inlet above the top there, comes out to Port Moody, which we'll get to. And then you have the Fraser River over here making its way out to the ocean that again borders the bottom of Vancouver. So you have right down about here is Hastings Street, I believe. No, sorry, not Hastings, Main Street. This separates East Vancouver and West Vancouver. So West Vancouver is where real estate is more expensive in the city of Vancouver. And sorry, that's not West Vancouver. That's the west side of Vancouver. Not to be confused, because there is a West Vancouver that I'm going to get to. So the west side of Vancouver, over here, anything west of Maine, that is where the more expensive properties are in the city of Vancouver. And then you have East Vancouver where prices are I mean, they're still considered expensive, but they're much cheaper. So, or they're much cheaper than the west side of Vancouver. So, an average price at the time I did this, which was January 2021. For East Vancouver was about 1.5 million for a detached home, and on the west side of Vancouver, it was about 3 million. Now, not all the homes in the west side of Vancouver would be at 3 million. Some would be much more, and then older tear down homes, not necessarily tear down, but literally homes built maybe in the 1920s, 30s, 40s. They could be upwards of over $2 million. So what I've done here, as I go through this video and I go to the different areas, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go through the prices of each area because I've done that before. I'm going to give you a percentage level in comparison to if you were to buy a detached home in Vancouver or a detached home in these other areas. The reason I'm doing that is as time goes by, the percentage differences will likely stay much more relevant than the pricing. So let's get into it. I'm going to try and go fast. Like I said, as we get farther out, prices drop as high as almost 50%. But let's start with going north of the city. So right across the Burrard Inlet from the city of Vancouver or even downtown Vancouver, we've got North Vancouver here and West Vancouver. These are the areas to the north of Vancouver. Now, one advantage to these areas is you are closest to our local ski mountains, which is Cypress Mountain here, Seymour Mountain, and for some reason it's not even on the map here, but Grouse Mountain is right in here. You can access it from the base of the north side of North Vancouver. So at North Vancouver is about 5% at the time I checked this, about 5% less for the real estate that you're purchasing there. North Vancouver can access Vancouver two ways, from the Lionsgate Bridge here, which takes you right through Stanley Park and into downtown, or the Second Narrows Bridge, which will allow you to access other areas of the Lower Mainland quicker without going through the city, or other areas of Vancouver. So it's got two ways there as well. So a commute time by car in North Vancouver says 16 minutes. Now, all of these commute times, guys, you got to take with a grain of salt. They are without traffic. So just getting onto one of these bridges may add an additional 10 minutes to your 16-minute commute here. All the commutes I'm mentioning are talking about going downtown. And transit says 39 minutes. You may have to hop on a bus or two coming this way. But the reality is, if you live in Lower Lonsdale here, it is only a 12-minute C bus ride. There's a C bus that runs every 15 minutes or so. It runs very frequently, at least during the day anyway. And it's only 12 minutes to get across right to downtown there. So next, we have West Vancouver. Now, West Vancouver, before I was talking about the west side of Vancouver, but this is different. West Vancouver is up here. It's a city of its own, and it is the most expensive real estate in the Greater Vancouver area. At the time I checked it, it was showing that it was 46% more expensive on average than the properties in Vancouver. Now, I think that might be a little bit inflated. The month that I was checking the average, there could have been some super, $15 million homes that have been sold, and then they kind of pull the averages up. But nonetheless, it is the most expensive real estate in Vancouver. It also has the most direct access to both North Van as well, though. Most direct access to Horseshoe Bay. This is where you can take your ferries to the Gulf Islands. If you Google Gulf Islands, you'll see how beautiful that is, and they're very, very close. Driving from West Vancouver to Horseshoe Bay can't be more than about 20 minutes. And as well, once you hit the ferries there, for those who want to go to Vancouver Island, sorry, let the map fill in. If you back up, those ferries take you to different parts of Vancouver Island as well. Victoria down here, very beautiful, or direct access to Nanaimo. And you can get to the west coast of Vancouver Island, which is really cool. And the other advantage of being on that side of the bridges is Squamish is great. They do say that they're going to be putting a ski resort up there in time, but what people really know around the world, people travel from around the world to go to Whistler Blackcomb, which is a world-known, world-recognized ski resort for snowboarding and skiing. But in the summer, they have mountain biking, and you can do snowshoeing, and they've gondolas from peak to peak. There's a lot to do up there, and these communities here have the quickest access to them. So that's the north of Vancouver. For West Vancouver, it says a 12-minute commute with car, and again, if you get traffic on the bridge, it's going to be a little more, but you pop right over and you head downtown. And it says 24 minutes by transit, which is also pretty close, but you got to go through the bridge there. So next, we will go to the south of Vancouver. Now, also worth noting here is on the west side of the city of Vancouver. Just on the outside there, you've got the UBC. This is UBC, our most well-known University of British Columbia. We will get into also Simon Fraser University, which is over here in Burnaby, but let's try and move quickly through here to give you guys an idea of the prices and the commute times of the different areas. So if you go south of Vancouver, again, now you're going to have to cross a bridge in the city, in the Greater Vancouver area. Typically, as soon as you cross a bridge, you're going to see prices drop. Even if it's minimally, prices will lower, because it's going to be, anytime you go to cross a bridge, you're increasing commute times, and so you'll typically see prices drop when you cross a bridge. And the farther east you go, which we're going to get into all of these communities, as you go east in the city of Vancouver, things start to lower in price in terms of real estate. It's a very unique city in that it's landlocked to the north. These are mountains. Nothing is built up here. You've got Pacific Ocean on the west, and you have the U.S. border on the bottom. So it can't grow in a circle like some cities can. So it has to grow east. So anyway, let's keep going. We're going to go to the south here. So in the south, we have, let's see, we have Richmond. Down here we have Tsawwassen, and here we have Delta. So Richmond's got pretty good access to the city, although you do have bridges to go over. The Vancouver International Airport is here. So often, cities that have access to that international airport will hold their value, not to mention that Richmond is also on a river and on the ocean. So there's lots of scenery, lots of great stuff there. Richmond is clocking in at almost 20% below the average price if we, blend the west side of Vancouver and the east side of Vancouver. So for a detached home, that seems a little bit much, but these are definitely good markers. It might be a little bit less than that. Richmond, commute time to car is 23 minutes. Again, if you're going to be in traffic, that might be a little more, and depending on where you are in Richmond as well. If you're way over here in Stevenson, it might take you 15 minutes to get on the main line here that is then saying 23 minutes according to Google. I just Googled from city to city and got these numbers there. And 38 minutes from transit. The good thing about Richmond, it doesn't have SkyTrain spreading all over, but it does have the SkyTrain coming to the airport as well as into around the Bridgeport area here, I believe, and the SkyTrain can take you right up all the way downtown. If I pull up the SkyTrain map here, so you can't really see the land here, but this is crossing the river. So if we look at this, so you see that's meant to be the Fraser River, and this is meant to be the island that the airport is on. So I'll just show you here, like that's the island of the airport, and that's the river we're crossing. So the SkyTrain does come down right into Richmond, which gives you above ground rapid transit to the city, so it doesn't get jammed in traffic. So that is a great thing about Richmond, and probably what holds the values. The airport and the SkyTrain reaching there has definitely helped to increase the values of Richmond real estate, because when you go a little farther out, things drop when you're less connected to that SkyTrain or the region there. So the next one we have here is Delta, and again, now it's the same river splitting up, but you've crossed another bridge. You cross two bridges, and definitely prices are going to drop around the in the Greater Vancouver area. So Delta is approximately 36 to 37% cheaper for for buying real estate than it will be in Vancouver there. The commute time by car says 31 minutes. That seems, I mean, that to me sounds like it would be midnight, a midnight run there. If you have traffic and you're crossing two bridges, you're not going to get to downtown in 31 minutes. But you can see the how as the commute time crosses and as you cross bridges, the price does go down. And from Delta here, it's 53 minutes by transit, and this would likely be by taking a bus that would get you to the SkyTrain, and then you would hop on the SkyTrain from there. So then we come down to Tsawwassen. In and around here, you've got a lot of agriculture, maybe industrial as well. You can see the gray where it's actually, more congested, more residential and city. So then we come down to Tsawwassen. Tsawwassen is a little town down here. It is very, very nice at Tsawwassen. There's no question about that. You are right on the ocean. You've got the ocean on this side. You've got great green space. You can access the ocean so quickly down there. It is very, very small. This is the U.S. border that we're looking at, and this is Point Roberts. Tsawwassen, this is also what you see popping out here is actually the Tsawwassen Ferry Terminal as well, which is most of the access to go to Victoria. Horseshoe Bay, I'm not sure if they have ferries to Victoria or if you got to come to Nanaimo and go down, but Tsawwassen goes right to Victoria, and people love Victoria. It's a beautiful place. So yeah, you're right on the U.S. border, though. Even though the U.S. just holds this little area here, Point Roberts, it does have ferries from there where you can, go to see some of the islands here. If you're not going from, sorry, I'm going in and out here, but if you're not going from our, oh geez, what was the name of, from Horseshoe Bay out to the Canadian islands there, you're going to get the same type of islands right there off the U.S. And you can see that blue line, the U.S. border that is wrapping around the tip of Vancouver Island. So that is Tsawwassen. Oh, I didn't get the commute times by car from Tsawwassen to Richmond, but I would say you can add another 10 to 15 on from Richmond, which was 31 minutes by car. Again, that's not taking traffic into account. And 53 minutes by transit. You could probably add at least another 10 to 15 minutes on transit to get there, to get to the SkyTrain and get out there. So now we're going to start to go east. So now we've looked, I mean, Greater Vancouver is locked. You go north, you only got a little bit, and then you're hitting mountains that are basically ski hills. They're not something that they're building on. And you go south, and you're hitting the U.S. border or the water, but there is a lot east. So this is where you'll start to see prices drop a little more. So first, when we go east, we're going to go to Burnaby. Burnaby is a very big municipality. You've got Vancouver here. You can see the red around it. Well, Burnaby is also landlocked on the top from the Burrard Inlet, so just like Vancouver, and landlocked on the south by the Fraser River, except for New West, which we'll get into here. But so Burnaby comes down over here. So this is North Road, which separates Coquitlam and Burnaby. So Burnaby is almost as wide as Vancouver. And then the line is probably about here. And then all this down here is New Westminster, which I'll get into. So Burnaby is a great place. It's very central. It's quick to get to the city. So Burnaby prices were about 17 to 18% below for a detached home in Burnaby versus a detached home in Vancouver. And I mean, of course, these are general prices. Some areas that have immediate access to SkyTrains are going to be worth more, or different regions and things like that. Now, in terms of commute, from time by car in Burnaby was 20 minutes, and time by transit was 19 minutes. And that will really depend where you live in Burnaby, because we'll pull it up here. Burnaby has this SkyTrain running right through Burnaby, and all of these are also Burnaby until you hit 22nd Street. Now you're in New West, which has some there. So it is very accessible by SkyTrain to get to the city. Plus, it's close in that it's the neighboring city, Burnaby. And so that's that. Then we get into New Westminster here. New Westminster is a chunk like this down here. It's got the river on the bottom here. They've since made a very nice boardwalk at the bottom there. It's actually quite incredible what they've done just over the last 3 to 5 years. Lots of new development taking advantage of the river views. It used to be very industrial. You've got train tracks that run through there. Now they've started building towers on the other side of the train tracks, getting close to the water, and they've got a quay out there. It's very, very nice. So New Westminster prices, but the good thing is with New Westminster, is prices drop again. So prices on average for detached homes versus Vancouver is down about 33%, even though it is still pretty accessible to the city. You do have the SkyTrain. So the SkyTrain 1, 2, 3, 4 stations down near the river of New West. You have SkyTrain, so you can get out there. Although New West is kind of like traffic through New West is never fun. It's slow, but if you're traveling from Coquitlam, you're going to hate going through New West because it slows it down. But if you're in New West, you actually have pretty good access to get anywhere. You can doesn't take you too long to get to the number one. If you want to head east, you can SkyTrain to downtown. Hop on these bridges quick if you're going south. So it's actually a fairly good location, but when you're traveling through it, traffic does move pretty slow there, probably because they got 2 bridges right there. So a lot of traffic around here is going to use New West as a place to get through on the way to where they're going, so it can slow things down a bit. And now we will continue east. After Burnaby and New West, because we'll go to the south side of the river after, but to the east of Vancouver, you've got Burnaby, New West, and then we have what we call the Tri-Cities, which includes Port Moody. This is a very small city. Coquitlam, which kind of comes up here, down, and over here. So Coquitlam is large in land and large in population. Port Moody is small in land and small in population, but it's on the Burrard Inlet there, so it has incredible parks and some pricier real estate on this side for sure. You can hop in a boat and get downtown in about 30 minutes from there. Then we have Port Coquitlam, and I'm going to get into them each individually on their price as well as their time to commute. Now, the other thing is Port Coquitlam here. The SkyTrain stops at Coquitlam. So we'll look back here because I know SkyTrain is important. So the most recent SkyTrain extension here was the extension of the Millennium Line that goes through Coquitlam, and then it's Port Moody, and then Coquitlam again. And I'll show you how it is on the map because I know this map is kind of funny, but I do want to make it clear that when you're out in the Tri-Cities, at least for Port Moody and Coquitlam, you are going to have SkyTrain accessibility. It may take some time to get out all the way to the city, but it is very convenient. So if we come in here, again, we got Burnaby on this side. The SkyTrain hits Coquitlam here. It goes in a tunnel underground. I live actually right over here. Then and I grew up in Coquitlam. Where did I grow up? Let's see, that's Mundy Park. Very nice park. I grew up around here and over here. So I'm local. But anyway, the SkyTrain pops out here, has a station here, a station at Inlet Station. And then you're into Coquitlam, comes here and pops up here, but it does not connect with Port Coquitlam. So the great thing about Port Moody, you do have good access to get to the highway. It doesn't take you long at all to get to the number 1 here, which is our main freeway that can get you traveling east or west fast, but also to get downtown. Quick access to the Barnett Highway, which then takes you to Hastings. Now, Hastings can get congested, but all in all, if there's no traffic, you are popping downtown really fast here. But let me get back to my statistics. So Port Moody, it shows prices is 17% less than downtown. Now, Port Moody is kind of skewed because in reality, they have some, if you come up to Anmore and up here, there's like Anmore, this is considered in Port Moody as well, but there are beautiful lakes up here, Bunsen Lake, Sassamat Lake, and this is only a 15-minute drive maybe from here. But for Port Moody, living up here, you have Bunsen Lake, Sassamat Lake, you have Belcarra Park where you can actually come to Belcarra and be on the ocean, and as well you can see all the greenery that they have. When you come up to Anmore, this is where you can still get 1-acre properties. Up here you might get 3, 4, $3, $4, $5 million homes. They're not all like that, but it can overall, because Port Moody is small, it can increase the average value of property when you look at sales in Port Moody, because it really is an elite community up there. In terms of Port Moody, for commute time by car, it says 27 minutes. Again, that's going to be accessing the Barnett Highway and coming this way. And you legitimately can get to downtown in under 30 minutes if traffic isn't bad, which is really cool. commute time by transit is an hour and 12 minutes. So the thing is that transit, because you're hopping on the Sky train, is what this would likely be referring to. Although it is very, very convenient, you come up to Coquitlam, you kind of hop over, you go through Burnaby, and then you'll have to transfer again, or you can come around Burnaby and New West and go straight there. But it does take time, but it is very convenient. Now, with that said, there is a commuter train called the West Coast Express that travels 5 trains toward downtown, the central business district, for those who are working downtown in the morning, and 5 trains back at night. This is a commuter train. It runs on train tracks, but it does not have to stop at traffic. And the time from the West Coast Express, I used to take it when I worked downtown years back now, is only 25 minutes to take the West Coast Express to right downtown. However, it only runs in the morning and the evening. It's not like a Sky train or a bus where it's running every day. It's meant to service these eastward communities so that people who live out there can still work downtown or along the line of the train. So it's super convenient, and this isn't a regular bus. It has tables, and you can plug in your laptop, and it has washrooms, and you can buy a coffee and a breakfast bagel, whatever the case may be. So Port Moody is connected by the West Coast Express. Next, we have Coquitlam. Again, Coquitlam is big. Port Moody looks like this, coming up here and around here, whereas Coquitlam goes all up Westwood Plateau over here to around Coquitlam River and comes all the way down to Coquitlam River and then up. That would be North Road. So Coquitlam is large. So these numbers are going to be skewed a bit because, especially the travel numbers. But Coquitlam shows at 22% prices less than detached homes of Vancouver. And commute times, it says 29 minutes by car. That's a caveat. I'm going to tell you why. And an hour and 4 minutes by transit. And if you are taking transit or SkyTrain, it's not talking about the West Coast Express here, then yes, transit is going to take some time. If you're near the SkyTrain, it will be convenient, even though it takes long. But with Coquitlam, for a 29-minute car ride downtown, yes, that would be true if you are in the Millardville or the central Coquitlam area. You can quickly access the number 1 highway and get out there. But if you're living up in Westwood Plateau or Burke Mountain, you can add, I'd say, at least another 20 minutes for you to access, for you to get all the way to the highway. So Coquitlam, it could be 30 minutes. It could be 50 minutes, depending on where you live, geographic location, and of course, traffic. Now, the West Coast Express from Coquitlam, it was 25 minutes from Port Moody. West Coast Express stops right by Coquitlam Center. Here, there's lots of high-rise towers and a big mall around here. That's where the West Coast Express comes through, which gets you downtown in the morning and home at night, and that's only 30 minutes. And then next, we have Port Coquitlam, and this is where you'll start to see prices drop a little more because now you are no longer connected to the SkyTrain, a little more farther out. So Port Coquitlam average home prices are 36% below what we're seeing in Vancouver. So you can see the farther east we're getting out, the more affordable the homes are becoming, and it comes at the expense of a less convenient or longer commute time. But again, guys, in all of these areas, like Port Coquitlam, it's got the Coquitlam River. You can access the Fraser River on this side. The Fraser River, it's nice to see and look at, but it's not necessarily something you're going to play on. Although if you do have a speedboat, you can drop boats and drive all the way up to, you can drop your boat into the Fraser River and head on up to Pitt Lake, which is an amazing place for wakeboarding and everything like that. There's just so much outdoor stuff. And you do have, if we move in here, Coquitlam River separates Coquitlam and Port Coquitlam, I think. Yeah, right along here. Now, this is a river where you can actually go spend the day at, throw your tube in the water. Really, really cool place to hang out. And it runs all the way down through there. So That's Port Coquitlam. Now we're going to be going more east, and again, we're going to be crossing another river. So guys, in and around the Vancouver area, when you cross a river, prices are going to drop and commute times go up. So you got river here, river here. We're going to first explore crossing this river, Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge, and then we'll get into crossing the river this way, Surrey, Langley, and a little farther out. And you're going to see prices continue to drop as commute times go up. So after we cross the river from Port Coquitlam, we've got Pitt Meadows and we've got Maple Ridge, and again, both of these have West Coast Express stations, meaning the commuter train in the morning that takes you downtown takes you back in the evening. So Pitt Meadows is 46 minutes on the West Coast Express, and Maple Ridge is 50 minutes. So it's still super reasonable for people to work downtown if you live near those stations, because I'm telling you, even if it's 45 or 50 minutes, this is the most comfortable ride you'll get to work. You're literally sitting at a table. You can plug in your laptop. There are washrooms there. It's heated in the winter. It actually goes all along the, where is it? So if it comes there, it comes all along. Well, once it hits Port Coquitlam here, it doesn't necessarily come along the river there. No, that would be incorrect. But once it hits here, it goes all along the Burrard Inlet downtown. Like, this is beautiful. Like this is a tourist attraction, looking out that window, that drive there every day to work. People love it. So anyway, with Pitt Meadows now we're looking at 38% less. Prices are 38%. Obviously, this is approximate, but 38% less than buying a detached home downtown. So you can see you can still work downtown, but now we're talking a substantial difference in price. Commute time in car, it says 34 minutes. That might be a midnight run. I would say it's going to be more than that, and especially if you're on your way to work. I mean, I'd say it's going to be at least 40 minutes, at least. So you can't get to Port Moody in 10 minutes from Pitt Meadows. So I would, if it says 34 there, I'd say more like 50 minutes to be totally honest. Transit, it says an hour and 32 minutes. So the West Coast Express would get you down there in 46 minutes, but that is not going to be running anytime you want it. It only runs at certain times. So now we're getting farther out, an hour and 32 minutes to get on the bus and connect yourself with a SkyTrain and get over there. Then we come to Maple Ridge, a little farther out. This is where you're starting to get more land with your properties. Prices are dropping. Out in Maple Ridge, it says average prices are 35% less than you would see if you were buying a detached home downtown. 40-minute drive from Maple Ridge to Vancouver. Again, I'm going to say at least 50 minutes. I have to add another 10 on there. And the West Coast Express from here, which will take you in the morning down and in the evening back, is a 50-minute travel, comfortable travel. And then just regular transit is an hour and 15 minutes. So the next one, if we go a little further out, guys, and you look, there's lots of green space from Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows. You can access Alouette Lake, Silver Valley. You've got Golden Ears Provincial Park. There's lots of where are the rivers back here that they have parks on? It's amazing. You can go and be kind of like summer, lots of outdoor stuff. So if we go further, Mission's even farther out here, and this is where the West Coast Express ends, but people actually do, look how far that is, people do live out in Mission and work downtown if they take the West Coast Express. If they were driving, it'd probably be at least an hour and a half, 40-minute drive, but with the West Coast Express, it's an hour and 15 minutes in the morning there and back. And I know that seems like a lot, but on the West Coast Express, again, you can get work done, you can be productive, very, very comfortable. Out in Mission, prices are 55% cheaper than they would be if you were in Vancouver at the time I took this data. And it says an hour commute time, 58 minutes from there to downtown. I would say probably hour 10, hour 20. I just don't think that's accurate. And then next, guys, I know this video is going on here, but I'm going to keep going so that you can really understand the lay of the land. So next is when you cross the rivers and you head to the south. So first you're going to hit Surrey. Surrey is very large municipality. It's, I think, second to Vancouver geographically, and it is expected to surpass Vancouver in population. I forget by what year, maybe 2030 or something, but Surrey has the SkyTrain as well. So Surrey currently has 1, 2, 3, 4 stations of the SkyTrain there. Surrey is 34% cheaper than if you were buying in Vancouver. It says a 30-minute drive to Vancouver, crossing. You're crossing the one bridge and heading in 30 minutes. I would probably say 40 minutes. And it says 37 minutes by transit. If you're close, if you're down here, that may, you have to drive all the way up. The transit actually ends right here right now. That's where the SkyTrain comes. The next extension we're likely going to see is right down the Fraser Highway, I think that is, and it will end in Langley, but right now it stops there. So if you live here, yeah, it's going to take you longer to hop on a bus, get on the SkyTrain, but 37 minutes. White Rock down here. Now this is beautiful. It's right on the ocean. It's very close to the U.S. border. That is one advantage of being on the south side of the river, is the how quickly you can get to the U.S. border. If you like to do that traveling, most Canadians do love going to the States, and it makes it very easy. White Rock is very beautiful, right on the ocean there. And White Rock prices are, it says 20% less than Vancouver with a 44-minute commute time or an hour and 22 minutes with transit. And then, we're getting further out. We go to Langley here. This is Langley City. Prices are 36% below, 37% below that of Vancouver. 41-minute commute time. I'd say closer to an hour. And an hour and 30-minute by transit. And then if we come to here, we've got Abbotsford. Now, Abbotsford is getting far out. Prices are 49% less than if you were to be purchasing in Vancouver. It says 51 minutes to drive from here to downtown. You do have quick access to the number 1, which can be pretty free flow. But if you're coming out at rush hour traffic, I'm going to say at least an hour and 15 minutes in the same way when you're going in. And a transit ride from there will be an hour and 56 minutes. It says there is no rapid transit that will be connecting you out there. Don't expect it coming anytime soon. And the runner-up, I guess we have Chilliwack out here. This is the tip of Greater Vancouver. Again, I don't know. Between here and here, there's not going to be much traffic. You'll probably get from there to there in maybe 10 or 15 minutes. But again, I don't know what it will be in terms of transit and things like that. So guys, that is it. If you have any questions at all, let me know. I know I went through that fast, but if you're thinking of moving to Vancouver, but Vancouver prices are expensive, well, this is going to give you the lay of land of the entire, what we call the Lower Mainland or the Greater Vancouver area. If you go far enough out, you can look at discounts on real estate upwards of 50%. So you don't have to just be looking at Vancouver, or you can find your happy medium in the middle. I'm telling you, each of these locations have some serious advantages. Most of them have very quick access to amazing outdoor stuff. And yeah, guys, that's Greater Vancouver. That's the Lower Mainland. If you're thinking of coming to Vancouver, Canada, do not hesitate to reach out. Okay, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. I hope that gives you true insight into the surrounding areas of Vancouver, Canada, where you can find more affordable prices in relation to Vancouver housing, as well as an idea of what commute times you can expect the farther you move out from the city. If you're somebody that is looking to move, relocate, or really just hang out with us here in Vancouver, I'm going to go ahead and leave all of our contact information in the description. Send us an email, shoot us a text, give us a call, because if you're moving here to Vancouver, we have your back, we have you covered, and we absolutely love doing it. It's what we do every single day. It's what we're good at. And if you don't reach out, we can't help you. So with all that being said, my name is Mark Parsons with eXp Realty. I'm from the Vancouver area. So if you have any questions at all, let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you guys on the next video.